Hey, everybody, welcome to Industry Conversations 101. Thank you all so much for your continued support. For those who watched me on Wednesday, we had Gary G7 Jenkins, other group Silk on with me on Wednesday, on yesterday, actually. A great interview. Tonight, I have the art dealer himself, Dorian Harris, coming all the way from Charlotte, North Carolina. He's originally from Atlanta, Georgia. Excuse me, Augusta, Georgia. Going to be on with me tonight, and very excited because he's an old friend of mine. So I know it's going to be a good conversation tonight that we're going to get into. And of course, as I always tell y'all every week, that we always have in the mix with me, DJ Gates, um, who's always on the one and twos with me as we talk about so many different things in regards to entertainment news, even some of the hottest independent artists that are out there right now. So I'm very excited to be with you guys again every Thursday, just going over a few things. There's so many things that are going on right now, especially in the entertainment industry. And I think we just saw recently with Cash Doll, who has now announced her pregnancy. So congratulations to her. There's so many different things that are going on right now with artists in general. Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion. I don't know. I just feel like sometimes, when someone gives you a restraining order, that pretty much means leave them alone, stay your distance, do what you're supposed to do, and just stay out of trouble. Like I don't understand. Shouts out to everybody from Facebook. Shouts out to everybody from YouTube that's tuning into the show tonight. But as I told you all, we always have a great show for you all every Thursday. Shouts out to Deborah family that's watching all the way from the West Coast over in Cali. Thank you so much for watching. As I told y'all, I mean, there's so many different things that are going on right now in the industry, and I can't wait to get into it with y'all. But without further ado, I'm gonna turn it to my boy DJ Gates, who's on the one and twos. That's gonna bring us the Industry Conversations 101 mix tonight. And again, independent artists, if you have your tracks, your hot music, send it to us. Go on over to Instagram, like our page, Industry Conversations 101. Also, click the link and send us your music. We would love to get it on, get it in the mix. So thank you all again so much for tuning in. And I'm going to turn it over to my boy, DJ Gates.
Man in the mirror is all I got left. People weren't calling my phone like they used to when they was asking for help. Got me down bad. Guess what? Watch how I bounce right back. Watch how I bounce right back. Watch how I bounce right back. Yeah. I had to do this one for the city. All right, Dilla, check it in. PT Cruiser. You're going back to Deansbridge on this one. I'm a god, so black and ambitious. Respected and resilient. High powered and brilliant. I'm living. I'm a god, motivated and focused. Royalty and culture. Won't chase the wave because we control the ocean. I'm a god. Big belly rude boy, skin dark as a summer night, black man in America, so I'm constantly in a fight. They profile me as a villain, I'm Killmonger in real life. They hate what they don't understand, but I don't give a fuck what they feel like. My confidence, why they feel me, my hard times is what built me. I'm winning after overcoming everything that was here to kill me. Born with a target on my back, police game hunting for my head. Cousin told me stay out the trap, I found other ways to go get that bread. A nightmare, strong, black, and intelligent. America's scared of my heritage. They bring me out to be a slave just to take me out of my element. The news say I'm a monster. They blame me for the problems. The truth be told, they don't want to be honest. I'm a god, so black and ambitious, respected and resilient, high powered and brilliant. I'm living. I'm a god, motivated and focused.
DJ Gates, you're the freaking best.
I'm a god. PT Cruiser, come on, god. Capital G-O-D, yeah, let's meet the team. Representing DSGB, police can't say it. I'm a genius, one of the meanest ever on the mic, 'cause I'm the cleanest. I do that shit them gangsta niggas like right at ya. I'm blacker than a panther in Atlanta. They wanna kill me on counter, but I kill them crackers like cancer. Yes, sir, no, sir, pardon me, excuse me. All of the things I say God, so black and ambitious, respected and resilient, high powered and brilliant. How I'm living, I'm a God, motivated and focused, royalty and culture. Won't chase the wave because we control the ocean. I'm a God.
It is a dream. It is a dream. It is the America. I have a dream. I have a dream. One day. One day.
My money low, it's time to go to work. We poppin' bottles by the bar, make them go berserk. I'm on my kush cloud, you know I'm blowing perk. I'm the baddest motherfucker on this earth.
It is a dream. It is a dream. It is the America. I have a dream. I have a dream. One day. One day.
My money low, it's time to go to work. We poppin' bottles by the bar, make them go berserk. I'm on my kush cloud, you know I'm blowing perk. I'm the baddest motherfucker on this earth. Grind time, you know it pays off. We getting money and the niggas getting laid off. Grind time, don't take a day off. You know we ballin' like my niggas make the play.
First off, dollars over that bullshit. Y'all know that I pull quick. Ain't no all on my back, boy. You know I can't lose it. NY in this bitch, rock around that 6. Or maybe up in that 7. See your duck gas still having it. 4 5 on my waistline. Niggas thinking they gon' take mine. Come through with that new shit. Boy, you know I don't play time. Ain't no playtime, it's grind time. We ballin'. Pop the crown in the club, nigga. You know shot callin'. Ain't watching New Orleans. Yeah, nigga, I run that. RTM, AMG, what's good? See, I see that. Y'all niggas know who I be. Coming through in that coupe so clean. And your bitch all on my dick. Why? Because I got that cream. Now what you mean? You don't want no problems. 45 and 8Ks, 38 assault. And you know I pay the cops. AMG, rock the mic, inch
In a box, my money low, it's time to go to work. We poppin' bottles by the bar, make them go berserk. I'm on my kush cloud, you know I'm blowing perk. I'm the baddest motherfucker on this earth.
Listen to me, baby. If you don't wanna give it to me, baby,
Shout, you got me feeling like this is something new. I ain't felt this in a minute, but damn, I'm feeling you. You make me feel like a queen, so we ain't hard to choose. I see the difference in you. You ain't like them other dudes. I ain't out here checking for 'em, but I've been checking for you. Even when I'm with it, I be thinking of you. We got a major fight, and he ain't got a clue. You looking for that button, baby? I can fit those shoes. I'm in need of a key. You can be that too. Got me on my bully. I'ma swoop through and scoop you. I'm super smooth, but I'ma make the moves. I'm like, what up with you, baby? Can I come through? He said.
you don't wanna put it on you, baby, I do wanna get it up, baby,
Yo, DJ!
Are you done mixing yet?
Your DJ has only just begun.
Top in his zone. I got my blink know your man got your name saved on the rain G song. I'm the dopest, I make your flowers grow. You know, keep a strawberry smell. Yeah, you know, smart work the money, trying to count the money to the center. Kids bearing through your city, baking cookies time. I guess you know me now, cause I done spit a dope line. I'm on my bad bitch grind all day with the money on my mind. I'm on my bad bitch grind all day with the money on my mind. How you know I'm getting money? You don't even know me. How you know who I'm fucking with? You don't even know me. You only know what I'm doing. Yes, I grind what? Yes, I work what? You don't even know me.
Beloved, we're gathered here today to lay to rest. Prada, Montclair, and Gucci for the blatant disrespect of the black community. Look at what they done to me. Police put the gun to me. Told me get down on my knees so he gon' use the force on me. Damn, it's only one of me. They looking like 100 deep. What's my crime? Being black, black as I wanna be, black as I wanna be, black as I wanna be, black as you wanna be, black as I wanna be, black as I wanna be, black as I wanna be, black as you wanna be, black. I ain't no African American nigga, I'm black. Rip a mother from a daughter, what kind of nigga is that? The NFL finna fail cause I'm kneeling with cap. I live in hell in the jails, time revealing the facts. The war on crime was a crime, they ain't getting to that. And now they mad, they sons and daughters out here sniffing the sack. Oh, now it's treatment time. I know you beat this line. We buying black businesses and y'all can keep the crime. Buying black. They stole our land, about to buy it back. I'm buying black, buying black.
Give me a little.
All right, welcome back, everybody, and thank you all so much for tuning in to Industry Conversations 101. Shouts out to my boy DJ Gates for being on the ones and twos with us tonight. All of the independent artists that he spins every week has a uniqueness about them so much. But without further ado, I'm gonna bring in my boy, the art dealer, Dorian Harris himself. How you doing?
What's good, family?
Nothing much. Thank you so much for coming in on Industry Conversations. As always, it's a pleasure. When we do get together, have the opportunity to talk. There's so many things that I know you and I can talk about, but I want to get into definitely the single because we played it earlier with Pastor Troy.
Okay.
Pastor Troy, Southern hip hop legend. I want to talk about the song "I'm a God." So, what was the inspiration behind that?
So the record that you played is actually the remix. The original version I had did last year was some different production. So I had this beat that I got from my producer, and I loved the beat, but I knew what to do with it, but I didn't know how to approach it. I didn't want to just do the typical like crunk sound or whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times I'm riding around listening to music, and what happened was I started riding around listening to it, and then I started mumbling like the hook from it. I
Yeah.
was like, that goes with that. That's dope. So at first I rewrote a verse, and I was like, nah, my verse is so strong. I'm gonna leave it like it is. So naturally, what I mean, my producer was like, you know who you gotta call to get on the record, which he produced another record from another artist from Augusta who did a feature with Troy. So I was like, well, I'm gonna reach out. So I hit him on Instagram. He sent me his number. Actually, me and him got a little bit of history. Because when I was, a lot younger during the summer, I used to work at a record store in Augusta. The record store is where he released his album, the very first album, with the tank in the background and stuff like that. So we knew each
Right.
other and we bumped into each other at shows or performances. So like when I sent it to him, he was like, I got you. So you know what I mean? The next day he hit me, played it over the phone. We took care of the business and it was a wrap. So and then I think like a month later I went to Atlanta and we shot the video. And that's really how it happened.
Yeah, dope record, dope record. You pretty much you have a unique style from me because the very first time we met, down in Augusta, Georgia, when we did the song "After the Rain" together, you have this uniqueness about your style. Like you love telling stories, and I think
Mm-hmm.
that hip hop, you still have those storytellers in hip hop, but you don't have as many. I think we hear so much. Everybody's kind of sounding the same, but you, however, has stayed true to yourself. Each record that I hear that you put out is very unique, and you also stay true to who you are, and you still stick to that storytelling, and you also tell stories of everyday life that people can relate to. Like After the Rain was so touching and so heartfelt, because it spoke of all walks of life that everybody basically go through. And I have to
Mm-hmm.
definitely commend you on your writing skills because you tell stories that anybody and mom, everybody can pretty much relate to. Even the visuals are on point. So definitely, yeah, definitely give you props to that. But I do want to go a little bit deeper into your projects because you have a catalog full of stuff. We can go on and
Mm-hmm.
on with everything you have. So what goes into the art dealer production? Because the art dealer within itself, that's a powerful name. So what goes into a production when you are creating a project?
Most of the time, I've been through something, and I've been through something that affected me emotionally, which gets me moving creatively. After the rain was a very dark moment in my life, and what I mean, I had dealt with some relationship, a failed relationship. I dealt with losing some money. Things were changing for me, and I just didn't know what to do. But once again, a lot of times, and the same thing, I had this beat that my producer did that I've been sitting on for a minute. And I just, a lot of times I might just play beats and just see if I pick up a vibe. And I picked up a vibe and started writing to it. And that's where it came from. Everything that, the conversation for me for I'm a God was when a lot of the things were happening within our community over the last couple of years and it became real prominent. I had to talk about it, but I don't want to talk about it from a negative perspective. I wanted it to be more empowering. I wanted it to be something that people can listen to and relate to and connect and feel good about versus it being a oh woe is me record, type thing like that. So most of the time for me, it's a feeling. It's something that strikes a nerve in me, and most of the time I don't even just when I go through something, I don't automatically write about it. It's something that kind of keeps bothering me. It's like what I mean. It's like an itch, and it's like no, I got to talk about this. I got to address this, and that happens with every song. Every song that I've ever created is always a feeling or an emotion that starts that just won't let me let it go.
Yeah, I think we as artists, especially artists and writers, songwriters, and in general, I feel like sometimes we pull out the best in us when we go through stuff. Especially when it's like a difficult time or difficult moment in our life when we write about things and we put it to words or we put it to song. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
great because you don't know who you could be, helping, get out of their situation that they're in, or overcoming the situation that they're in. So I like I said, when I first heard After the Rain, I was like, thinking to myself, like, what goes along with this? And then the words started to come. And when we laid it down, it all just made sense. And even in the song that you just did with Pastor Troy, it reminds me of that 90s, early 2000 vibe. His voice never changed. Shouts out to Pastor Troy.
PT Cruise, no, he's still the same dude.
Yeah. I mean,
He's definitely
his
still that
voice.
same guy.
Yeah, and I mean, what was that vibe
I
like
mean,
with you?
huh?
What was the vibe like working with him in the studio?
Say that one more time. I couldn't.
What was the vibe like working with him in the
Well,
studio?
actually, he recorded from his home studio because I was in
Okay.
Charlotte, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I hit him on a Saturday. He was like, email me the record, and he hit me back. He was like, I got you. And then the next day, he called me and he played it over the phone like it was done. You know what I mean? So I look forward to working with him. I want to see if we can probably get some shows under our belt, even though we perform, not
Hmm.
that record, individually we performed on some of the same stages or same events. But I would love to
Right.
kind of get him on stage for a couple of months. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's
So
just it's a dope energy that people miss that.
right. I mean, I agree. For someone to, the energy that he has, he's so like high spirited. I call it high spirited because he's always crunk all the time. So it's like just to have him on the record, I'm just like, wow. Like every time you hear him, it's him because he's just so high spirited. I love it. I love it. Love the energy that he brings. But let's talk about some of your influences because, as I said, like you are a storyteller. And, being a storyteller, there's a lot that goes into that. So, what are some of your influences?
Mhm.
So, like, what are some of your influences that has influenced you in your hip hop career?
My biggest influence is Outkast. Um, yeah, Outkast would be. Actually, my first influence was Ice Cube.
Oh,
It was
okay.
something about the energy, the aggression, the way he told stories that really just that I became a fan of. But then when Outkast came along, they represented people who sound like where I'm from. So you know what I mean. From that, the whole Dungeon family, I'm super big fans of all of that. Some of the newer artists I like Crit, I like Sahara the Prince. Um, but yeah, a lot of really, I think the biggest influence would definitely be the Dungeon family.
Yeah, the Dungeon family definitely made a huge impact in hip hop. Yeah, made a huge impact in hip hop. And then also, like when you talk about Cube, um, Cube does tell stories. Like Today Was a Good Day. It's like maybe it's my all time favorite record of Cube. And then it's like, it kind of shows in his videography as well, in some of his movies of how talented he really is. So definitely I can agree with that
Hmm.
as well. And like when we talk about hip hop today, do you feel that hip hop has changed for the better, or do you feel that it has some more
Okay.
growth to do? So do you feel that hip hop has lost its way?
I think commercially or business wise, it's changed better. Quality wise, I don't agree. Um, I think our community in general, with any type of talent, has gotten into a space where people feel that they're entitled or that they can be whatever they want to be without actually doing the work or actually executing. And
Mm,
I think that's why we have rappers who can't rap, singers who can't sing. There's just a lot of people who have these identities, and because they have these identities, people gravitate to them, but what they don't actually bring anything to the table. And I just think we've allowed it to be cool for that to get by. So that's the frustrating part to me. That's probably the most aggravating part. But business wise, there's so many different opportunities that come for anybody, who has been working for a long time, to plant your position in this business, but it leaves the door open for the wrong people too.
Now you said a mouthful. Like when you say that, sometimes it leaves the door open for the wrong people. And I hear it all the time. I see it all the time on the Shade Room. I see it all the time, especially in some of these interviews that a lot of the pioneers of hip hop are talking about. Especially when they say mumble rap.
Hmm.
Because a lot of the artists you can't really understand what they're saying. And I remember, back in the day, like you had Twister. Twister, you know, raps real fast, but you can kind of understand what
Hmm.
Twister was talking about, you know. So I definitely agree with you with that, in regards to that. But I do like your presence on Instagram. Yo, like, what's up with the
Hmm.
bartending
Right.
skills? So, what is up with the bartending skills? Like, I see a lot of different things that you're placing on Instagram in regards
Oh,
to,
really? I
your
appreciate that.
yes, yes, yes. Your bartending skills are like I'm looking like wow. I mean, I know he's multi talented, but at the same time, I'm looking like wow. Like some of the concoctions that you put together, like literally, like
Say
you would
that.
never think. Like some of them,
Say,
the drinks that you can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
you breaking up a little bit on my end.
Okay. Can you hear me? Can
Yeah,
you hear me at
I hear
all?
you now.
Okay, good, good. I said so. Some of the drinks that you have placed on your Instagram, very interesting drinks. Like, where do you get that inspiration from? Of some of the drinks that you've placed on Instagram, because there are very interesting drinks that you placed on Instagram.
Hmm.
The mixes that you place on Instagram, like where do you come up with those things?
So, mhm. So yeah, so with the drinks, honestly, I just like with the pandemic in the beginning, I was stuck in the house and I
Oh,
didn't have anything to do. I luckily I maintained good business as far as like with my graphics, but
yep.
I was having to try to find other things to do. So
Hmm.
I just started trying stuff. I really just started trying to make content for TikTok, and I was doing
Oh,
food
okay.
at first, and it was going pretty good. And then I did a drink, and the drink just it just did like 200,000 views. And
Yeah.
from that, I just started digging more into it and trying to figure out what drink, what liquors pair with certain things and what tastes and stuff like that. So, I mean, I do my research. I was looking up recipes and then my spin on it with switching up certain flavors. But yeah, it's just something. It's a time. But honestly, I'm about to go ahead and get certified with bartending pretty soon. I've talked to a few different people about taking classes to be certified. So that'll be coming soon with the events as well.
Yeah, and I mean, and you're great. I know that you've been having a lot of events all over Augusta and Charlotte area, and I know that you have an open mic night as well that you have done for some of the artists as well. How is that going?
Hmm.
So the open mic nights that you have had in Augusta
That's
and
good. It's actually it's a poetry event called Mahogany Lounge.
awesome, awesome,
Hmm.
awesome.
It
And I know, like,
started. It actually started in 2000. Hmm.
okay,
I don't
okay,
know
but I like I
if
said,
I
I
got
know,
a bad connection or something, and if it's on my
yeah.
end or something like.
Well, it looks like it's freezing on your end, like in the studio. It's telling me, however, that there's some connection issues, and I think in your stream.
Should I do it from home? Would that be easier?
Yeah, if you do it from the phone, it probably be easier. But I can. It's like every now and again, like you're freezing up a little bit. Let's take
See,
a
let
quick
me see if
commercial
I can
break.
pull it up from my phone and do it from there. Cause
Okay, cool.
thank you. Okay.
All right, we good? All right. But yeah, but I'm definitely excited that that you are taking the initiative in regards to your certification in bartending, because like I said, like when I did see the drinks and things on Instagram, I was like, wow, like he has a talent. He really has a talent,
I was like, wow,
for
like he has the talent. He really has the talent, you know, for
Let me see. Do I need to close this one out? Okay.
what you can. I mean, I've already closed the camera, so you're good. We can
what
see you.
I've so you're good. We can see you.
Okay.
Yeah, so like I said, it was just one of those days where I was like, wow, your bartending skills are like out of this world. And then you do your little bop with it and all the other stuff. So
I just did it on the fly one time, and everybody just they reacted to it, so I just kept doing it.
yeah, because I mean, and I did peep the food. I mean, you're a great cook as well. So I was just peeping a lot. I said, this guy's multi talented. Like he has so many hidden talents up his sleeve. He's a cook. He's a bartender. He's a graphics designer. He's a rapper. I mean, it's just a whole bunch of, you're not a rapper, you're MC. So the thing is that there's so many different things that you're capable of. But let's talk about what can we expect, what's going on with the art dealer now. What can we look forward at for the end of 2021 going into 2022?
So right now, the end of 2021, two things you can look for from me is I got a new single that'll be coming. I don't have an exact date. It's either gonna be November, December. It's called Love Like This. It's a real nice vibe, produced by my man Bizzo Beats. I actually had two records at the time, but I was torn between which one to push first. So I put them on my Instagram stories and let people pick, and they picked that record. I honestly was gonna release this other record first, but that's gonna be coming. And then I just started back the event, the Mahogany Lounge, which is a poetry event. I
Mm-hmm.
started back in 2010, and it went for about 7 years. And then when right before I moved to Charlotte, I took a break from that. And then,
Mm-hmm.
through the pandemic, a lot of people kept asking about it. So I brought it back the first time. Matter of fact, this past Sunday, and like like the tickets sold out like really fast. And I kind of figured with the pandemic and then it being gone so long, people would be looking for it. So then I'm gonna do it every other month. So the next one will be in November, November 21st. But with that event, it's like an infusion of spoken word poetry and live music. We've even dabbled in some comedy with that as well. But it's a really dope event, and I'm honored that Augusta really embraces it, and for it to be going so long and people still wanted to be here. So yeah, that's gonna be the next move. So those two things, that event as well as this new single, that's what they expect from me for the rest of 2021.
Right, right, yeah, and like I said, kudos to you on the Mahogany Lounge, because you were running that for a minute, and I used to see some of the footage, and it's a nice vibe, like you said, poetry, and then every now and again you would have some musical guests that would come through.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I never made it there, but
We
I
waiting on
I know. So it was so much that I saw that was just good stuff that was just going on, there. And like I said, kudos to you for actually being able to bring it back. And I think
you.
as we move through this pandemic, the more and more people are going to want more areas like that, safe areas where they can just listen to music, unwind. And then here's some genuine good music. I see the era of the live bands coming back.
Mhm.
There's so many more live bands that are doing a lot of what you were doing at Mahogany Lounge now. A lot of open mics where a lot of raw talent now is being found. So definitely, big ups to you on that as well. But of course, before I do let you go, where can everyone find you on your social media platforms?
Everything is Art Dealer Inc. ArtDealer on Instagram, Twitter, except for TikTok. On TikTok, it's Dinner with the Dealer. But
Yeah.
yep, everybody can find me on those locations.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And thank you again. Thank you so much. Even we had a little bit of technical difficulties, but we got it right.
My apologies, though.
No. It's always a good time when we get together. Every now and again, I still have pictures from our video shoot. I also go back and watch the video from time to time. Very inspirational song. We definitely made a great team of with especially with that record. It was wonderful. I love the sound that you've got going on right now as well. Again, we're bringing that old school hip hop back. Shouts out to Pastor Troy as well. Definitely, you all did your thing on that.
Thank you. I'm ready to get back in the lab with you. You gotta let me know.
Hey, let's make it happen. Number the word, make it happen.
Okay,
Make it
say
happen.
no more. I
All
got
right.
you.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
I appreciate y'all having me.
All right. Talk soon.
All right, peace.
All right. Yeah, thank you so much to the art dealer, for coming in and actually sitting with me tonight. That is my homeboy, but I'm checking in with my boy Gates. Gates, what's going on? How are you? So we always chop it up at the end of the show, like so much going on. Tory Lanez. He deleted his Instagram. What's the deal? I wonder what the deal is. Why he can't stay away from Megan Thee Stallion?
I mean, she's not an ugly person. I mean, and then she's successful. I mean, who wouldn't want a woman who got something going and you got something going? You could have made something, magical, but you can't. Some people have a hard time leaving the streets alone. You can't bring the streets into everything you do.
Agreed. Agree, Gates. And then the real today. However, I think it was yesterday, where they did the interview with Nicki Minaj, husband offender, the victim of Nicki Minaj's husband.
Yeah.
So all this stuff is kind of like coming out in the woodworks. And I think someone said, "Who would bring up a 30-year-old case, and why are you all talking about it now?" And there's so much controversy like going on with that issue.
Yes. What makes it bad? Because the kid, she was young. I think she was in junior high when it happened.
Yeah.
So it's very important. Two, they're going to bring it up because Nicki Minaj is a high-profile artist, and
right.
He's married to a high-profile artist. Plus, I think he dabbled in the industry himself. So that's why anybody that's that's getting you hear a lot Bill Cosby. Some of his cases was like back in the days, and they brought it up. Like with a high-profile person, they don't care. And some of these people didn't have a voice then because they was afraid to talk. So
gotcha.
Now that we're a little more educated about things that's going on now, the victim have more of a chance to at least tell their story.
Gotcha.
And that's what we got to respect. A lot of people close doors on the victims. Like the first thing they'll say, "Oh, they was in the wrong." They should
right. Agreed.
Now,
agreed.
We seeing more than every day. Everybody got cameras. There's people there. People can finally speak. So you can't. There's nothing you can really hide no more in this world.
Right, exactly. I think now that we have, like you said, so much of social media at our fingertips right now, to where a lot of things are now coming to light. A lot of people feel that they have the ability, like you said, having a voice, being able to speak. I think that's the number one thing of having the ability to finally again tell your truth. So yeah, I mean it's sad. And then again, like you said, it's one of those things where, hey, you gotta, a person does have the opportunity to speak and, tell their truth as well, because they may not have been able to share their story previously. And then, I mean, it's just so much stuff. The Fugees, they're all going on tour.
Yes.
Did you see that? This is a lot. This has been a long time coming. Yeah, a long time coming, Gates. So I'm very excited. They're not coming near me anytime soon, but they got a few dates. But at this, I think the closest that they're coming is like DC. But I had the opportunity to see the video on Instagram, and like I'm hyped. Like I'm just like I'm excited because they had so much controversy. But I mean, you got the great Lauryn Hill, Wyclef Jean, finally on the same stage together. You know.
Now, my question is, do you think they're going to mash together since they've been away for so long?
Oh, that's what, Gates. That's a good question. I know like Lauryn, like we talked about like a couple shows ago about Lauryn partnering up with Nas, and she kind of murdered that record. Like she murdered the record, but. Both of them, I think all three of them are in all different walks of life right now. Everybody's all grown up now. Everybody has owned up to their mistakes. I think Lauryn is in a different space than what she was a couple years ago. And I really think they want to see this finally come to fruition. The energy that I saw in that video, I'm hoping for the best.
I hope so too, because I would like to see it. And they're gonna be in New York. They just don't have a date. I just want to see. I would like to go there and see it.
I know, right?
I can make it.
Yeah, I think a lot of all of our old school groups, especially from the early '90s, late '90s, and early 2000s, a lot of them are going back on the road now, and I think it's great. I mean, to see that New Edition ain't never going to go off the road. I don't think.
No.
I guess.
When you got good music, you can't kill it. So there's always fans that wants to hear it. Like,
right.
You saw the Ozzy Brothers, even with the verses and Earth, Wind, and Fire. When you got good music, there's always somebody that wants to hear it.
I agree. I agree. Definitely. Yeah, I agree definitely, Gates. And then, I don't know if you saw this too, where Dru Hill has called out Boyz II Men, Jodeci, etc. Okay. And I'm going to say this. Of course, everybody knows that Dru Hill, the now Dru Hill that we see, there are two groups combined. Playa and Dru Hill together. So I saw the blurb on Instagram, like, who are these people? This is not the original Dru Hill. And it's the two original members from Dru Hill who partnered with the two members from Playa. For those who do not know who Playa is, Playa was the group that was signed to Tim's label back in the late 90s, where Static Major was a part of this group. Rest in peace to Static Major. And when I say those boys remind me a little bit of the Hamiltons, remind me of them, because they would always sing a lot of the hymns, and they were really good writers and instrumentalists. Like, they didn't need no music. They could sing flat-footed and, just didn't need any music. So I'm interested to see if that's even going to fly.
I wouldn't want to see Jodeci and Dru Hill. The simple fact is, Cisco will sound like KC. It'll be like
exactly.
It'll be a mirror match.
Yes, it would. That would be a mirror match.
Like, you took my sound. I'm
yes.
So like, 112 is not going to come out. They did their verses, so I don't think they're going to come out. And there's only two members of them.
Yeah, it's only two members now. That's exactly. So it's going to be interesting to see where that happens. Chris Brown hasn't battled no one yet, and Omarion kind of threw his name in the ring with Chris Brown. So I don't know yet if Chris is ever going to battle anybody, because Chris has so much music. Like, you got to be a heavy hitter to match up with Chris Brown. You really got to be a heavy hitter.
Think of as Usher. Usher got it.
Yes. See, that's the only person that can battle Chris Brown. It's Usher. Yes, definitely.
He's good. Now, not a long catalog.
Nah.
Long catalog. But Usher, you know who should do a versus? Neo. Who you think should go against? Neo.
Well, Neo he's done a verses. He did one of the earlier verses, but he did it from a producer perspective, not as an artist, because he's been producing and writing for years.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I mean, I would love to see him as an artist. I think he's kind of shied away a little bit from the scene, because I guess he got all these underground projects that's going on. And speaking of underground artists, you played some fire underground artists in the mix today.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, like I was.
They sending me the
Yeah.
package now. They love the show. They like, I want that played.
Yeah. I'm loving it.
Industry 101.
I know, right? Industry Conversations 101, definitely. Independent artists, again, if you have some music, shoot it to us. We would definitely play it on the show. It's got to be hot music, though. It's got to be fire, though.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll stream it. I will stream it. If it sound left, I won't play it.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Definitely. Make sure you all go over to the Industry Conversations 101 Instagram page. Make sure you like the page. Also, click the link in the bio if you want to submit your music to the show, so that DJ Gates can spin it on the show as well. I'm your host, Nisha, aka Nisha the Voice. You can also find me on Instagram at Nisha the Voice. Also, DJ Gates, let them know where they can reach you on your social media as well.
Yes, just find me at DJ Gates, and that's about it. You can find me right there. And just hit me up. I'm not one of those shallow people who won't talk to you.
Well, Gates, it's a pleasure as always to have you on the show with me every Thursday. As we definitely, as we get into some conversations, and like we always say, Industry Conversations 101, everybody, is for us to bring the game to you, to teach you the game, also talk to you about the game of the industry as well. So thank you all so much for tuning in, and we will see you all next week.